this is my dilemma as someone that really wants to defend the rules that allow for this kind of freedom and prosperity that I think many Americans now take for granted. And if you look at world history, as you have touched on a number of times, there's this tragic cycle of boom and bust, and the bust can be just brutal and could devolve into wildly violent regimes and mass starvation and all the things that we saw in the Cultural Revolution and Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. I would rather skip the bust and try to wake people up, or at least those people who are awake. And I want to look at the subtitle of your book, because all you're doing is bumming me out right now. But you promised that you're going to tell us how to fight back. How do we fight back?
So the little Easter egg for you. So the final chapter is chapter 11. And that was my inside dad joke to myself, because chapter 11 usually means bankruptcy and giving up of your possessions. And I turned that on its head. Chapter 11 is all about shifting your behaviors so that you have the opportunity to fight back. And let's be realistic, because this is very overwhelming. Like you, I don't know that we're going to be able to stop like historical cycles or human nature. But we could prolong it. We could make it, push it like that timeline way out. We could get things into a little bit more balance. So I think that's one lens. And at a minimum, even if we can't do that, we can set ourselves up to be strong within the chaos and to at least not, completely panic. And I sort of liken it to, if your house is burning down, it's a really bad time to plan an escape route and to buy insurance. You want to be buying that insurance and making those plans so that when that happens, you're not like deer in headlights, like, oh my God, what's happening here? You've thought this through and you've taken some precautions. And so people have said to me, this sounds prepperish. And not that there's anything wrong with being a prepper, but that's a lifestyle. Like if you're a prepper, like you're living that every day, like you're waiting for it to come tomorrow. And this is how you're moving through life. I feel like just being prepared is having that plan so that you don't have to have that burden every day, and you can try to enjoy your life as you should, but know if something goes sideways that you've at least thought through it and you're emotionally prepared and otherwise prepared to deal with. So a lot of the feedback in the final section is just good financial advice that I would give to you anyway. But I think it takes on a new lens when you put it through a scenario like the one that we talk about in the 10 chapters plus the introduction proceeding. So since we talked about CBDC, like that's a good place to start. Like, what if there was a CBDC and they just turned off access to your bank account? Like how, even if that like gets rectified or that's just a period of time, like what do you do in the interim? Like what do you have around you that you can barter with and trade with? Like, have you gotten any precious metals in small denominations? Or if you're a crypto person, have you thought about that? Have you talked to people in your community? Like, do you know who the doctor is who's going to be willing to trade and the person who has the chickens? And like, have you just, kind of been, okay, I feel like we've got our bases covered here and we can at least make it through some period of time. Maybe I've, stockpiled some medicine, like whatever those things are that you need to get through periods of time and figure this all out. I think that's a good thing to do.